I have one thing to say. Never underestimate your opponent. Know this. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to KRS TV. This is your boy Kenny, and this is If Loving You Was Wrong, Season 5, Episode 4, and the name of this episode is Chest Pains. Yo, If Loving You Was Wrong is really knocking them out, because this episode was really good. And so much went down, and that ending literally had me screaming. I'm like, oh hell, it's about to be some more shit. So let me begin. The episode picked up where it left off. Steven is leaving Esperanza after having a night full of raunchy sex and passion. He goes outside. Eddie done sent his goons over there to jump him. They immediately begin to attack him. And at one point you thought that they were gonna, get the best of him. And the next thing you know, Steven turned into like Bruce Lee and started beating their asses. Like he literally fought all four of them by himself, beat their ass. And all of a sudden Esperanza comes out and he's telling Esperanza to go in the house, and eventually they all gather and they get back in there in that van or whatever, and he starts walking. So while Esperanza goes in the house, she calls Natalie asking to talk to Lucian. And that damn Natalie's a mess. She was like, you know what? Y'all need to stop calling. You need to stop calling here for my man. And she was like, I'm kidding. But I'm not really kidding. Like, I know that's right. She was doing the most. And she kind of talks about, Stevens was at our house and that four guys attacked him and all of that stuff. And, so pretty much Natalie puts Lucian on the phone. Lucian and Esperanza go back and forth. And Lucian had me rolling in this scene. Like, Lucian is my man. Like, Lucian was hilarious. Like, she's saying that, Stevens was at my house. Four guys attacked him. And Lucian was like, are they alright? And she's like, what do you mean? And he was like, Stevens is a bad boy. And she's like, yeah, but he thinks that Eddie sent them. And then like Lucian was like, well, I figured he would probably know that for sure. And he's like, and then she's like, but he was very angry. I'm afraid he's gonna go to the pub and and go after Eddie. And he was like, well, if Eddie has any sense, he would hide. And then they go back and forth, and she's still saying like, I have never seen Steven like this. Like, I am so shocked. Like that he acted like that. Like, I've never seen him act like this. And then that damn Lucian said, Lucian was like, girl, the only thing you know about Stevens is that he wear purple drawers. You don't know nothing else. I was like, damn, Lucian. Just straight shut her ass down. And then she gets on the finish like, why would you say that? Why would you say something like that to me? Because it's the truth, you dumb hoe. You don't really fucking know him. You saw him in those purple tighties, and you just got all hot and bothered, and y'all been screwing around ever since. He was like, look, I'll see what I can do, because she wanted Lucian to go to the pub to stop Stevens. Now that asshole Eddie has been giving Lucian the blues. So Lucian is like, shoot, I'm gonna sit back and let's see what goes down. So all of a sudden he's like, okay, I'll get over there and I'll check on it to make sure nothing happens, but I'll talk to you later. So he hangs up on the phone with Esperanza, and then he goes sit next to Natalie, and Natalie was like, you not in a rush? He was like, nah, I'm just gonna give it some time for Stevens to go there to whoop his ass, and then afterwards then I'll go in and break it up. And Natalie was like, you wrong, but then again, I don't care if Eddie gets his ass whooped either. I was like, yes. And he was like, see, that's why you my girl. You understand me. I'm like, I know that's right. So we see that Eddie at the pub, sitting down drinking a beer. The 4 dudes come back, and he can immediately tell they got their asses whooped. And Eddie starts talking his shit like, man, this is what I get when I send girls to do a grown man's job. And then all of a sudden, Steven comes in, you know, the goons start kind of scaring away from him. And then all of a sudden, we see that there was one of the goons that was still close to the table. He literally took his leg and kicked the shit out the guy. And the bartender was like, nuh-uh, you know, I'm not having another brawl in here tonight. And he was like, oh, don't worry. There's not going to be no brawl. But there is going to be an ass whooping. And then he pretty much says, so pretty much he told everybody, because mostly everyone in the pub is a part of the police force. Stevens was like, if any of y'all jump in the middle of this, I will kill you. And then we see that Eddie's still being smug, like, yo, I don't know why you upset, man. I ain't do nothing. I mean, I don't even know what you're talking about. Still playing defensive like he don't know what he just did. Like, dude, the dudes that he just fucked up was literally at the table with your ass. So the whole scene told on you. And then the next thing you know, that damn Stevens punches the shit out of Eddie, and he beats the dog shit out of Eddie. I was so here for it, because Eddie's a fucking bully. He keep poking at people, and eventually somebody gonna poke back. Because he does this all the time. He's always being sinister. He's always bullying somebody. And he's always, you know, trying to intimidate someone. And he thought that Stevens was this bitch that he was going to be able to punk. Stevens gave Eddie a wake-up call. Like, bruh, I got these hands. I got these moves. And I will let you fucking have it. Because he whooped Eddie's ass. And I was so here for it. Because I'm like, Eddie deserved it. You know, Eddie definitely deserved it. It's long overdue. Eddie got that ass whooped. And then all of a sudden, Lucian comes in and he stops Stevens. And then Lucian looks down at Eddie and was like, see, you keep on doing the same old shit. You need to let this go. And he was like, nah, Lou, I don't let anything go. And he was like, oh, so I guess that will be on your tombstone. Here lies Eddie. Didn't want to let it go. I was like, yes. Like, because he is like so not here for Eddie and his bullshit. Because Lucian wanted to beat his ass, because Eddie has been doing a bunch of shit, especially to antagonize him. And let's just say Eddie got exactly what he deserves. And then the bartender was like, yo, Lucian, who's going to pay for this? And he was like, oh, I'm pretty sure my boy Eddie can cover it. Because he the one that brought the drama there the first damn place. All of this is Eddie's fault. If Eddie would just stay in his damn lane and stop trying to bully in and trying to force himself on people, nothing would have happened. Because even the whole fight, you know, that happened before Esperanza left was started by fucking Eddie. Then we get this scene here. Ian goes to Larry's office. I think, you know, Lucian gave him the kick in the ass that he needed. So now he's going there to try to find the file that will exonerate Kelly. But it turns out Larry's old happy ass is in the office. They run into each other and he asks him, what you working on? And then he noticed that the file was Travis's file. And then he's like, I thought I told you to get rid of it. And then Ian was like, look, can we talk about this? And he was like, nah, there ain't no talking. Give me the damn file. And, you know, and he's pretty much letting Ian know that, dude, we represent his family to the tunes of millions of dollars. You know, and he was like, well, can you just wait a minute? Can you just wait, please? He's like, nah, there ain't nothing to wait for. You know, time is money. Give me the damn file. You know, and you know, Ian is kind of coming to, he's now finally coming to his humanity in a way. But he's still a bitch ass. But he's in this way with saying that, You mean to tell me that everything that he was doing to her, you want me to bury this? And he says that, first of all, you have an obligation to your client. And Ian was like, these aren't my clients. This is your client. Yeah, and then he's saying that, so I see we have a conflict of interest, huh? And he was saying that, look, Larry, this is not right. And he was saying that shit, most of the shit we do up in here ain't right. We're defense attorneys. Who gives a shit whether they're guilty, or the law for that matter? I'm like, that damn Larry is just as evil and is just as conniving as Eddie's ass. So, and then Ian tells Larry that she tried to commit suicide. So I think him hearing that from Lucian did something to him, because he's like, oh my god, I can't have this on my conscience that this girl almost killed herself in prison, all because of me, that I know the truth and I'm not telling it. And like when he tells Larry that she tried to commit suicide, he was like, and he was like, what do you mean, Ann? It's because of what this kid was doing to her. And then Larry's like, and I should care because... I'm like, dude, you are fucking garbage, Larry. You are total fucking garbage. That you know that this girl is innocent, but because you are loyal to the money, you put money above people, money above justice. Like, this is the type of like, when Lucian gets to the bottom of this shit, Lucian gonna fuck both of them up. More so Larry. Like, he gonna throw Larry in the jail and throw away the damn key. Because that's where Larry's old trifling ass belongs. So then he starts asking Ian, so what is it? You sleeping with her? And he's like, no, I'm not sleeping with her. But, you know, this is wrong. And, you know, we can't continue with this shit. And he said that, look, either you hand me that file or I'm going to turn you over to the bar. And then Ian was like, you really want to do that? Because I got a whole lot of shit on you. And Larry was like, yeah, you do. But you don't play bondage with some of the members of the board, do you? Or maybe you do. I'm like, oh, you nasty you a nasty motherfucker, Larry. And then he's saying that, look, and then, you know, Ian is like, dude, you're being ridiculous. And he was like, you know what? Either give me the file or I'm going to walk out of here and end your career. Your career will be over. And here in simple fashion, Ian turns over the file. And he lets him know that if there's a trail as far as an email, PDF, you know, phone message, I suggest you get rid of it. You know how I get down. And I was like, oh, Larry is a fucking evil bastard. And then he was pretty much saying that, and then Ian was like, you're insane. And damn, Larry looked back and was like, I love you too. I'm like, this evil bitch. Woo. And then I'm saying that Ian, I'm hoping that Ian has a backup. That he got the information and he's made a copy of it. So we're going to see how Ian's going to play this forward. But the fact that you gave back that file, you pissed me off. Because you should have been like, fuck this. You can end my damn career. I'm not going to let this girl get railroaded. So we're going to see what's going to happen with that. Then we go to the infirmary. Kelly is still, you know, cuffed up. And that damn nurse Pat, you know, the one that Rick had talked to get back there to see her, and he promised her $100 and 2 Powerball tickets. Her ratchet ass was something else. You know, she was just being all rude to Kelly. It was like, you know what I mean? She just going back and forth with Kelly, was saying that, like, look, you need to calm down. And she's like, I can't be handcuffed like this. She's like, girl, they ain't taking off them cuffs. You forget you're in prison. You know, you don't get no special treatment here. And then all of that. And then there was an inmate who was in there, and she was talking to Kelly like, they ain't gonna help you. I don't know what your problem is. And she pretty much Kelly's like, look, you need to shut the hell up and mind your own business. And the woman's like, bitch, who you think you talking to like that? And then he says that, look, they gonna kill you. And to tell you the truth, I understand exactly why you did what you did. Better you than them. Shit. You know, it's your life. You should have that choice. And I'm like, they just going back and forth, and then all of a sudden, this woman who works for the chapel pretty much tells her that, you know what, ain't nothing wrong with you. Get your butt up out of here. So the girl ends up leaving, and we find out the woman from the chapel is named Margaret. And she calls herself coming in there wanting to pray for Kelly. And then she also drops the bomb that she's a part of Calvary Church. You know, Travis family's church. And then she's saying that, yeah, Travis was a good man. He was such a good man. And she was saying that, you know, well, then if he was so good, then why haven't you been praying for him? And she's like, I do pray for him. And Kelly was like, well, if you were praying for him, you should have started praying for him before he did what he did. And then she immediately starts, you know, bold, getting all in her feelings, like lying is a sin. Bitch, how the hell you know she lying? You don't know her from Adam. You just met her, but you've already believed all the assumptions, and you running with it. And Kelly's like telling her that, look, I pray that God reveals the truth to you because you ain't got your facts straight. And she's like, but I do know the truth. I knew that you stalked him and you wouldn't leave him alone. And she was like, it's the other way around. He was stalking me. And she was like, I was told that you would say that. You know, you're not the first woman to say that. And I was like, what? Oh. So Kelly immediately clocked that. She was like, how many? And immediately, that rotten bitch decided to change the subject, trying to play off of Kelly's psychosis. I was like, this bitch is evil. She is really fucking evil. And she was like, oh no, it's just you. She's like, no, you said others. How many? So therefore, if they get other women to come forward, that will shut down everything. And it'll be, you know, a Me Too situation where these women come together to expose Travis as the dirty dog that he truly was. And it's obvious that Margaret's playing mind games. She don't believe a damn thing Kelly's saying. And then it gets to the point that Kelly starts speaking the word, and she's getting into it. She's like, oh, you want to read Bible verses? Well, how about this? Thou shalt not kill. Boo-boo. That was the Old Testament. The New Covenant is that, yeah, we're not supposed to kill. But when it comes down to protecting your family, you do what you need to do. You defend what's yours, and you defend your loved ones. And that's exactly what Kelly did. And the fact that this trifling bitch is up in there passing judgment with her nose up in the air, like, you are literally being mean. And you're using God's name to justify your meanness. And I was just so not here for it. So pretty much she says that, look, I pray that God will reveal the truth to you, because if you are a true woman of God, you will have an ear to hear the truth. And she's like, but then she was like, I already know. You don't know nothing, boo-boo. There's two sides to every story. You immediately believe in these church people that and because you up there behind, you're believing them, and you're just totally disregarding Kelly. But then you also slipped and said that there were many others who said that, so therefore Kelly ain't the only one. We need to find out who these others are so that they can come together and shut this shit down for once and for all. So therefore she ends up leaving, and then Pat comes in, and she's calling for the nurse, and she says that I have chest pains. And she's like, well, she looks through her file and was like, well, your vitals are fine. She was like, and I was just like, she was just so rude or whatever. And she was like, no, I'm having chest pains. And she was like, and now I gotta go and file a report to send your ass to the hospital. Bitch, it's your job. trifling ass. She really got on my nerves. I was like, oh, you messy as hell. And she ratchet as shit. She was tripping. Person that come to their job but don't want to do no damn work. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So let's keep it moving. Then we had this scene with Alex. Alex is actually texting. She gets a text, from Dr. Roston. Dr. Roston saying, I've been trying to call you. And Alice was like, I know. And she pretty much says that what you've done was horrible and unethical. And Alice was like, I know. And she says that you're going to need to fix this because the hospital is going to open a board review on my handling of this DNA. And he says that you need to come down here and tell the board that you lied. And she says, I will. And she's like, how did this happen? And, Dr. Rosson tells her that, look, maybe it was a mistake with the texting, or you have another partner. And she was like, I didn't have another partner. And they confirmed what I've been saying, that this is a possibility that baby is actually Brad's, but in their family tree, either on either side, probably down the line, there were some black people involved. And then she asked, could Brad be the father? And Dr. Ross was like, I don't know. But yeah, she's saying that, you need to get to the bottom of this and do it the right way. And then she says that, but the baby is mixed. And she says, yeah, I know that. And she's like, family tree. I wonder if there's someone who was darker along the lines. And she says, it's a possibility. She talks about there was this baby redhead that was born, and the father doubted the child because he didn't know anyone in his family was redheaded. And Alice asks, okay, what happened? She says that he was the father. And when we did the research, they found out that his great-grandparent was a redhead. So eventually this is starting to get the wheels turning in Alice, and I'm like, it's going to come out that Brad is the father of that baby. Mark my words. Brad's the baby daddy. And I think, the reason why Randall, Randall is not the father because he ain't. And I'm saying there's probably some black in one of their family lines, and that's why the baby has taken on, that dark skin look. Because no one even did a DNA for real. Only time they did a DNA was when, Randall was trying to take custody from Alex. But immediately when we saw season 2 and they were going into the hospital, and soon as Brad saw that baby, he immediately was like, he immediately thought it wasn't his. But that's going to be the flip when they find out that baby is Brad's. And I really am sticking with that. And she's like, how could all this be possible? And Dr. Rosson tells her that, look, come down to the office, we'll talk to the board, and after that we'll discuss it. And I will do some more research. So then we get a scene where Eddie is at the hospital. He's talking to the doctor, and he's telling him that, look, nothing is broke, but I know you're very sore, and you're lucky you don't have any internal bleeding. And then he was like, I can give you a prescription. So he writes him a prescription. He was like, are you serious? Man, I'm a cocaine addict. I need something stronger. He was like, oh, well, if you actually had a drug addiction, then this medicine wouldn't work for you. He was like, motherfucker, I ain't say I had a drug addiction. I say I am a drug addict. This ain't past, it's present. You need to give me something a hell of a lot stronger than this. And the doctor was like, I can report you, right? And he was like, yeah, and I can report you that you got a little friendly during my prostate exam. He's like, man, that ain't true. He's like, it will be after I tell it. So you need to give me a few of those prescriptions. So he started writing like about 3 prescription pages of medicine. Then this fool, gets all aggressive and then takes the damn prescription pad from him. He's like, yeah, do something. Because I'm like, oh, Eddie, really, bitch? Oh, because you got your ass whooped, you now bullying people that can't fight you back. Because not only did he start fucking with that doctor, he comes out and we see that Kelly is in the lobby waiting to be seen by the doctor. And all of a sudden he goes over there and starts fucking with Kelly. And I'm like, you are such an evil bitch. Like, it is just crazy. And then he was saying that, how you doing, Kelly? Word's getting around about you that you're the Black Widow. The Black Widow. And here it is, they got you chained up. Girl, you look like a mule that's been riding down too hard. And I'm like, oh, you evil bastard. So he's being real racist and just constantly, taunting her. And then he was like, damn, and you was about to commit suicide? Like, dang, you weren't just gonna die the old-fashioned way and donate your organs? You so selfish, Kelly. And she says that, see, this is what happens when you fast in the ass. And, now you done killed the man. And like, he was just really going in fucking with Kelly. And Kelly was starting to get bothered. But then finally Rick showed up and he tells Eddie to leave. He's like, you don't have no jurisdiction here. He's like, get the hell out of here, Eddie. Cut the bullshit. Cause that's one of the reasons why Eddie is so fucked up. That motherfucker is doing like mountains of cocaine. Cause he is just always amped. He's always hyped. And then he's always just he's always on some crazy shit. And definitely the drugs are playing a major part in that. So finally Eddie's sorry ass ends up leaving. And then Kelly and Rick start to talk. And personally, I think Rick has a crush on her. I really do think he really has developed a genuine care for her now that he's seen what's going on. And Kelly was like, man, I can't stand his ass. And he was like, look, don't even worry about him. He ain't even worth it. But then he was saying that, so what are you doing here? And he said that, well, Pat cussed me out, because of the paperwork, so because she had to transfer you out, she got a whole bunch of paperwork, but I told her that I would do it for her. Oh yeah, and Miss Pat gonna feel some kind of way because it's obvious he has more of a genuine connection to Kelly than to do to Pat. Pat is something that he'll probably smash and forget about because she's so fucking trashy. Just saying. So then, he admits to her that he used to do security for Travis's family. At first she gets defensive, and she gets defensive, but then he pretty much was like, look, I'm here with you. I'm gonna be here, as your security. So you'll be with me, and I got you. And then all of a sudden, she asks him about Margaret, and and her stuck up judgmental ass. And he was like, yeah, I know her. She good people. And she's like, she is not a good person. I tried talking to her, but she don't want to believe me. And he's saying that, look, there's a lot of stuff out here that's being put out on the media and all that. You got to understand that people right now, it's looking like you were the aggressor and that you weren't defending yourself. And then all of a sudden she drops that bomb to him and says that, oh yeah, and she told me there were others. And he was like, what you mean? He's like, first of all, she mentioned there were others, and then when I questioned her ass about it, she pretended like she didn't say it, but I know what I heard. So then we see that the doctor finally takes her to get her examination. Then you get this conversation with Esperanza and Natalie, and Esperanza is looking for Lucian to see if he's home yet, and then they was talking about, she's like, so pretty much Natalie was like, what the hell is going on with you and Steven? And she was saying, I like him, and then she was like, yeah, and I can only imagine that Eddie is cutting a fool, and she pretty much says that, look, Esperanza, I don't know what you doing, but you need to shut this shit down for good. You need to talk to him. And she's like, but why would I do that? He's not going to listen to me. It's not going to work. But she says that, no, you need to have a long talk with him, and you guys need to get to the bottom of this. And she said, and then this bitch had the nerve to say out of her mouth to Natalie that it's funny that you of all people are giving me advice. And she was like, excuse me? She's like, you hate him. So you really don't care either way. She was like, first of all, I'm just trying to make this thing right with everything going on with Kelly and all that. We just need to, like, make peace and try to resolve things. I'm just saying for you to go talk to the man and get to the bottom of it. But I was like, it's probably Natalie wanted to slap the shit out of damn Esperanza. Like, boo, you up here defending this guy? Eddie has been nothing but a racist bully from the moment we met him. And here it is, you defending him, as you always do. But then you want to play victim when he does shit to you. So pretty much, finally, Lucian comes in and he gets on the phone with Esperanza and tells her that, look, and she was asking about, is Stevens okay? And she's like, yeah, Stevens is okay, but Eddie wasn't. Eddie got his ass whooped. But then he tells her, I need to talk to you tomorrow about you, Steven, all this. And, they pretty much get off the phone with each other. And then all of a sudden we see that Esperanza calls Eddie and tries to reason with Eddie, saying that she wants to, sit down and have a conversation with him. He's like, I knew you couldn't resist me. I know you miss Daddy and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, you just got your ass beat and you still on that cocky shit. Like, he is just so far out of his mind that is ridiculous. And in this situation, we're starting to see how truly unstable Eddie really is. So, pretty much, they go back and forth on the phone. She's saying that, look, I just want to sit down over, probably at lunch or something. We can sit down and just talk to each other. And he was like, shoot, I ain't trying to talk shoot. In 5 minutes, I can come over there and we won't be talking. Like, just doing the most. And then all of a sudden, she hung up the phone with him. She was like, oh my God, this really is not going to work. It's all messed up. Like, so therefore, so then after that, she gets a knock on the door, and it's Stevens. Stevens lets her know that, look, I had to handle this because I'm getting tired of him coming for me, and I'm getting tired of his mess. And she was like, but you were really scary. I've never seen you like that. He's like, look, I'm a good person, but I'm a motherfucker when you cross me. And also to let you know, I never hurt the people that I care about. So that kind of relieved Esperanza. And Esperanza wanted him to stay. But he's like, oh no, I'm going home. It's been enough for one day. So that pretty much goes down. So pretty much, back at Lucian's house, Lucian gets a call from Rick, and Rick lets Lucian know that he's at the hospital with Kelly and that he's there to look after her and all that. And he also tells her that they moved Kelly to an actual hospital. So then, Lucian's like, this is interesting. That Rick is, got Kelly at the hospital, so she's, not in the infirmary anymore. She's actually at a regular hospital. And of course Natalie's like, well, why would he do that? And he was like, he probably feels guilty for not helping her, and he's like, it's strange that he would go that far. It's because he's got a crush on Kelly. I think he generally, likes her. And we've been saying that, prior, before Travis got murdered, that it kind of looked like, Rick and Kelly, kind of got a little connection there. But this is interesting because he's saying that it's weird that he would do all this. Like, shit, he doing more for her than damn Ian's ass, because Ian is straight on bitch status. So pretty much he tries to push up onto Natalie, and tries to get some cuddle and some love making on the late night, and then all of a sudden they hear this woman screaming, and they go to look out, and that damn Tanya is outside butt ass naked, just screaming her damn lungs out. I'm like, oh shit, this damn Randall done fucked with her head so bad that now this crazy heifer is outside butt naked hollering at the moon. Crazy as hell. So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell to get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, check out all of my social platforms. I have them listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of If Loving You Is Wrong. So until next time, everybody, take care.